go from hello to yes on what you're looking for. I watch people get stuck in Frozen, and that breaks my heart. I was once stuck in Frozen too. Greatest superpower in the world that is attainable for you is the ability to influence people. From Japanese the Atlantic Ocean, and it's like 42-degree-ness, and we have some incredible rock stars today. Vivian, who do we have? Happy Monday.
Happy Monday. We have Christy Service Narouzi from Greater Orlando. Woo!
Hi, good afternoon.
Hello.
She's also known as the loan superhero. Christy is a mortgage loan officer at Premier Home Funding. She's also the host of Credit Coaching by Christy on YouTube and an MC at Central Florida Christian Chamber, a director consultant for BNI who works on the National Association of Divorce Professionals, who's on a mission to be on TED Talk and become a published author. Welcome, Christy Service Narouzi.
Thank you.
Christy, you're amazing. Welcome. How are you doing today?
Outstanding, Sean. Thank you. How are you?
I'm doing wonderfully. Is there a possibility you've ever heard of an organization called GOBA?
Called what?
It's still really hard to hear you, Sean. It sounds like you're like super far away.
I don't know how to shift that. Let us see. Perhaps is the microphone covered? I have no optics on this dynamic. So,
Okay. You just may want to speak louder than normal.
okay. I will, you know what? Let me see if I can get some Adam Vigino support. Let's keep moving through the introductions, Vivian. But Christy, thank you. And what's your fun fact?
Fun fact, actually, Vivian said it. My middle name is Service.
For real?
For real. It used to be my maiden name. I moved it over to my middle name. It's for real.
That is so cool.
I actually thought I was saying something wrong because as I was looking at your name, I didn't see it. I'm like, I wonder if that was a typo.
For real is my name. I have a lot of fun with that.
Miss Loan Superhero, Service Superhero.
Right?
Well, Sean, you want to know who our next contestant is?
Yes, let's keep rolling it. Forgive me, we've never had this challenge. This is like episode 500 almost. The Real Raw. So forgive me. So Vivian, keep going.
Oh, that just got better. Whatever you did just now works.
I did nothing, but the team must have done something. So thank you, team. So let's go.
Can you
Came in with his phone.
visuals a little bit more for yourself now, since there's more ceiling than it is your face? I can barely see your face.
We love the ceiling here. You hate my ceiling, Vivian?
I love your ceiling, but I love your
I've
face a
played it.
little bit more.
Let's rock and roll.
All right, we have Jan Canto, and she's in from Monmouth and also works both there and in Bergen County. She's a mother of three, went from mother of three to divorcee and using that as fuel to become a certified financial analyst, mediator, and therapist. Jan is the owner of TLC Financial and TLC Mediation in various locations in Jersey and helps others navigate the emotion and financials of divorce. So welcome, Jan Canto.
Thank you.
Jan, how are you today?
I'm good.
Yeah, welcome. You're just good. It's Monday. You're Jan. You're helping people like get through their challenges in life. What's happening, Jan?
Jan's like so confused on why she's here, and she's like,
I don't even know why
wanna
I'm
be
here. Yeah, I'm like, I thought this was a networking meeting.
Yeah,
So
I'm feeling the same way.
I didn't prepare by watching the videos or
Oh.
doing what I was supposed to, I guess. Sorry.
So who was the other person that I feel the same way? Who's that?
That's Ray.
Hey, Ray, how are you? So
Okay,
very simply put, do you guys want to grow and scale your business?
sure. Yes.
Ray, I'm hearing uncertainty, brother. So we're going to our business integrally. I will donate $10,000 to the charity of your choice if in 3 minutes you're not happy to be here.
You got it.
Would you put up $1,000 to my charity versus $10,000 for mine, and answer me honestly, because I will do it either way. Yeah?
Look, I just have to be very careful here because I'm working.
Oh, okay. So it's all good. So Ray, what is it that you do?
I am a rehabber, and my original goal was to buy properties, rehab them, and hold them for rentals.
Yes.
And I've done a number of them so far, but with COVID hitting, I've had to kind of redo my strategy to basically do more flipping. than holding.
So can I ask you a quick question? So what are you looking for yeses in? You're looking for yeses in acquiring projects, raising investments.
And
And
Ray is a judge, just so you know. Jan is a contestant, but Ray is a judge.
Thank you. Yep, got it. So Ray, what we're doing here is we're unpacking the superpower of influence. And that's what we're doing. But we're also meeting extraordinary other people in business. We're doing about 11 things at once. But
Okay.
fundamentally, my name is Sean Callaghy. Hi. I own a 125 person law firm. I also am the co-founder of Unblinded. And we went from when COVID struck and there was no ability to have live events, we created online dynamics in what we call experiential marketing, because influence as a superpower creates hierarchical primacy. I also, by the way, have 2 top 100 national jury verdicts. As one of only 2 attorneys in the country. I own a 125 person law firm. That's my side hustle that I don't have to show up at the office. There's no bragging on that. It's that I learned the science when I had no money 24 years ago, $100,000 in debt to build, grow, and scale business. So we bring amazing professionals like yourselves together and we get to meet each other and co-create, number one. Number two, we get to unpack the superpower of influence. And by the way, forgive me if somebody said that this was only a networking event. Unblinded team, not good. All the documents, the information should have revealed videos, things, and I get it. If you didn't have a chance to look at it, it's all good. But this is also to have fun. And my final, because I want to lean in on this. 3 years ago, I showed up in an event that was one of the 5 inspirations for this. And at that point, I was a lawyer. I owned the 125 person law firm. I was a business owner, not operator. I just stepped into the desire to bring about how I built, grew, and scaled businesses to the world. And in that room were people who had 1 million followers on YouTube, people that were on the board with Bill Gross of Idea Lab, who's the most successful entrepreneur in the history of the world with 7 0 to $1 billion exits. And all these people, and I was like, what am I doing here? I don't even belong. Like, what's happening? And 2 days later, because instead of being an hour like today, it was 2 days long, they had a pitch off at the end. And I don't believe in pitching, hooking, or closing, but a pitch off. And there was going to be like a winner. I said to myself, I'm like, in this room of people, and one of these people spoke on Tony Robbins' stage, how to tell a winning story. He had managed P. Diddy and J-Lo. It was an extraordinary room full of people. And I said to myself, if I win with these people in this room, like, doesn't that mean that I could then speak on stages all over the world and that I would have the cornerstone superpower, which is working with audience of people? And lo and behold, I won. And a few months later, I was speaking on Tony Robbins' stage. I was on a board with Bill Gross of Idea Lab. I was all of a sudden had completely changed the proximity that I was experiencing to carry out my life's mission and dream, which is to change the unemployment rate for blind people, because I'm blind, and to create as much impact and contribution as I can with the skills God gave me. So forgive me if it wasn't all clear how we got here. I promise if you want to grow your business integriously and scale it, this is the beginning of how to do it. So that's a fair encapsulation.
I say, heck yeah, Sean, that sounds great to me. I agree.
Is Ray still here or no?
He is. He's he's coming in and out of hospitals right now.
If Jen is uncomfortable, I can be a contestant if she's uncomfortable too, just so you know.
Yeah.
I don't.
Well, I feel like I have been growing and scaling my business, and I'm like really content with what is happening for me, other than missing my friends and COVID. So I just don't know. I don't want to I guess I wasn't really prepared for this.
Yeah. So would you rather not be a judge? Would you rather not be here? Why would you ever say yes to a networking event if you have all the business you want?
Well, because I kind of thought I was doing it for Gina.
Oh, well, that's a bad reason to do it then. So
Why don't Jen be a judge and I'll be a contestant?
okay, sounds good.
Is it judge and observer?
Listen, Jan, thank you for being here. It's all good. Thank you.
Okay.
So we have our fabulous Scott Garrett from Orange County, who went to Arizona State U. He came from a small town in Iowa. He became a financially independent investor who's worked in 3 continents and recently was featured on Bloomberg. Scott is the investor and founder of Beyond Our Sight and is on a mission to provide meaningful employment for the blind and visually impaired. Welcome, Scott.
Thank you.
Scott, welcome. Thank you for being here. How are you?
I am great. Thank you for asking, Sean.
Awesome. And what is your fun fact, Scott?
Well, I have several. So, but I'll throw one at you that's probably nobody else in this room has. I have been in the last 3 years at the market in Wuhan, where COVID started. I did business with the Chinese, and I was doing in Wuhan for 3 days, and I was down in the market where it all started from. So, but I don't have COVID.
I don't know if I find that as like a cool fun fact or a scary fun fact, but that's a crazy fun fact.
Bella, would you want to be in the where COVID started in Wuhan or no?
I don't think that's a place I would like to hang out. I mean, you said market, and I was like, I'd want to be there, but then you said like market where COVID is. I'm like, I don't know if I want to be at that market.
Awesome. So yes, welcome, Scott. So we have some more fun rock stars today, Vivian.
Yes, we do. We have Tracy Brown in the house and from Hackensack, New Jersey.
Hi.
Tracy. Tracy went from finance and healthcare to empty nester turned real estate associate at Keller Williams in Bergen County and received the Bronze Level Circle of Excellence Award for 2020. Welcome, Tracy Brown.
Thank you. Thank you. Not a full empty nester, almost. My youngest son still lives home.
That is awesome. So Tracy, where'd you grow up originally?
I grew up in Bergen County in Englewood Cliffs, moved to Hudson County for a few years, and now I'm back up in Bergen County. So I like to let all of my clients know that in real estate, because I do find that I'm very, an expert in everything from Bayonne all the way up to Mahwah, and then, expanding out into the other counties as well. I'm just also a self-proclaimed hustler. I work really, really, really hard for all my buyers and sellers. Coming into my 3rd year in real estate, and after, as Vivian said, a long career of many different fields, financial, healthcare, education, and found my passion in real estate, and I absolutely love it.
That is awesome. Well, Tracy, welcome. And your fun fact?
My fun fact, I didn't give it a lot of thought. My real name is Teresa, but I go by Tracy, and it doesn't rhyme or have any reason. The reason, when I was younger, my mom, coming from an Italian family, my parents had to name me after my grandmother, apparently, who was Teresa. But my mom really didn't love that name, so they nicknamed me Tracy. And it's funny because I never really had to ever use it until, in my daily life. Obviously, my license says Teresa on it, but as a realtor, I do confuse people sometimes, because when I talk to them on the phone, I'm, Tracy, and then they'll get an email from me that'll say, or something from the MLS, which only has me as Teresa. So, I have to explain the whole situation.
Well, thank you for being here today. Guys, just like lean into the awkwardness. That has never happened before. We've done this almost 500 times now, and we've had best-selling authors, TV personalities, celebrity athletes, and it's all good. If Jan somehow ended up here not knowing, I will certainly address that nobody from our team should ever be asking somebody for a favor. Quite frankly, it's a privilege to be on the Real Raw. So Jan was definitely not the right fit. We'll set responsibilities.
Jan is still here, Sean.
Yeah. Do you want me to leave? I mean, I just thought I was being helpful to her. She didn't ask me to do it as a favor.
Well, I don't want to inconvenience you, Jan. And so I mean that sincerely. I was calling Gina to say, please don't ever ask somebody to do you a favor. Like that's
She didn't ask me to. She asked me if I wanted to come to this, and I just felt like it would be helpful to her if I did.
And why don't you be a judge and I'll be a contestant?
Whatever you guys want. If you want me to leave, I'll leave. That's fine too.
No, I definitely don't want you to leave. I would feel badly that you feel like you're wasting your time.
Oh, no, she'll get value out of this. Let's roll with it.
Okay.
It was the initial initial fright that always happens when we get here. It's happy excitement and nervous and being uncomfortable, but it's going to be exciting and it's good. We're here.
And
Everybody's
my level 5 listening says Scott really wants to be a contestant.
I don't mind. I've done everything else in life, so what the heck?
So Vivian, we got more. Who else we got here?
Oh my God, we got the sales sorceress of the sorceress eyes in the world. Bella Verita, that's in the house, baby. In from Texas today. She built a multiple 7-figure real estate company, becoming the #1 business broker in the state of Nevada. And she places more women salespeople than anyone else in the country at Align Sales, where she happens to be CEO. So welcome, Bella.
Thank you.
Bella, how are you doing today? Coming from the great state of Texas, the Lone Star State. You are a star. It works. How are you?
I am extraordinary, Sean. I am sitting outside. I've got Lake Conroe behind me, a golf course behind me. And like, I'm getting to sit outside and it's like, I don't know, 70 degrees outside, which I imagine is not the same for you.
It is definitely not the same, but it is fun. AG and I will be jumping in the ocean later, have thoughts on it. And tonight, by the way, in What is Unblinded Real Raw, we have Dave Meltzer, who works with a ton of celebrity athletes, Evan Holiday, who, Bella, like real estate man extraordinaire, and Michael Michelle from Proximity, who, by the way, it's our online company that Mark Cuban just invested in. So Michael is going to be there. Evan's going to be there. David's going to be there. Are you going to be there tonight, Bella?
I will definitely be there. It's always the place to be on Monday nights, especially during COVID when you can't be at the bar.
Fun fact, Bella.
My fun fact, I think the fun fact is that I'm in Houston. I'm getting to sit outside during the Real Raw. I don't know. I think the last time I got to do a Real Raw from outside was when we were on Necker Island.
That is true. Rolling with the one and only Richard Branson. And then there was a COVID outbreak like that.
Yes.
And we almost had to be forced and quarantined on Necker Island. We sort of were. Yes, we were actually.
We definitely were quarantined. We couldn't leave the room.
Yes.
I would consider that. Being quarantined on Necker Island doesn't really suck at all, no matter where you're on Necker Island. But still, when you can't leave your room, it is definitely still you're, you can't.
Yeah, you're quarantined.
Yeah, you still are quarantined.
So, yes. And fun fact for me, Vivian, I will drop in with, is that I'm a blind guy that taught a blind guy to surf this summer and to win carnival games at Fantasy Island on Long Beach Island. And so that's like what is here is the unpacking of influence as superpower. And Vivian, like, what is this thing?
This is the Real Raw. This is an experiential platform where we all gather so that we could learn how influence is a superpower. Sean has been curating the formula for the past 23 years. You will all experience it today. And your aim is to just grab the mic, share your authentic self with a hotbed of talent in front of you, especially Bella, who's your role player, and align your purpose in an organic way in order to form ecosystems without any friction. And just like that, you make more money in less time with more money. Yeah, there's magic in the house. There's fun to be had. And Sean Callaghy is going to guide you on how influence is a superpower. Is that not right?
Yes, let's roll. Awesome. Thank you, Vivian. We love you. Vivian.
Thank you, Vivian.
Of dishing it. She brings the love, the happiness, the joy everywhere she goes. Who wouldn't want Vivian like rolling with her? And by the way, in case you've seen like the amped energy and fun to begin with, the same superpower was in fact, as I mentioned before, how we at Callaghy Law with me as lead counsel were able to achieve not one, but two top 100 national jury verdicts between 2014 and 16. Out of 1.2 million attorneys in America, only 2 achieved that feat, myself and an attorney from California. I was the only one that was blind. So in the space that we're in, we work with people from all walks of life and areas, creating acceleration for influencers to come together to unpack a superpower to cause acceleration integrally. Because both of those cases, we had people that, one of them, we did send the lead attorney, the underlying attorney to prison for 30 months, federal prison. And in the other case, we had the FBI involved in all kinds of craziness, because when integrous light influence meets non-integrous influence wins every time, if you're at least at the same level of mastery. So that's where I'm packing. So Bella Verita, are you ready to go?
I am ready to go. And you know what, Sean? you were speaking, like the other thing that is present for me is like, yes, like influence as a superpower and, what it's done for you in your life and the jury verdicts and all the things. But like the thing that I also love about what it is that you teach is the ripple effect of influence being a superpower, because not only have you been a successful business owner, but you have also caused more millionaires like within your businesses, which I think is really impactful, because it's one thing to like grow and scale and, be happy in your business. But when you can not only like be at where you want, but the people that work for you also get to be like where they want. And like, what I know, what I know about the people that also work for you, like they stay with you for a really long time and they end up like building massive wealth too. So I really, as we unpack the superpower here today, I think it's important to unpack like the actual ripple effect of that as well.
Yeah. The greatest joy I ever had in business was handing out bonus checks that caused me to cry and the people I handed them to cry on a consistent basis. And that is one of the great joys of life. I agree. And thank you for that access, Bella. So I think we got Scott and Christy ready to roll as contestants today. And who is going to go first, Bella? I mean, Scott seems quite eager.
I know. I definitely think we should go with Scott first for sure.
All right, Scott, are you ready?
I don't know, but I'll try.
We got to break. We haven't broken it down what we're doing yet.
Yes.
Okay.
So Bella will be anybody you want her to be. What we're unpacking is going from hello to yes, going from like nowhere to somewhere, because hello to yes is what causes all things in your marketing, your selling, your leadership, like causing the leadership of your team to accelerate, as well as your recruiting. And that's what all four of those things are necessary to build a scaled business that causes the things in the world that we want. And so, Scott, Bella can be anybody. She could be a client. She could be a potential strategic alliance partner. She could be somebody you're raising money from, whomever you want to be. What we're unpacking is, what does that conversation at its most optimal sound like? And more importantly, what does it feel like? How does integrous influence emerge? Like, what happens if you have a witness in a case and they won't testify? What happens if you want to raise money and you have no ability to, right? But the truth is that a yes would serve more value, or as much or more value to that person as it would for you. So this is like integrous influence, not boiler room, not pressing people, not pushing people, which is why I was like, wow, like Jan should not have heard, hey, do me a favor and come here, because this is integrous. This is like, hey, there's something here for you. And so if that happened, that's why I was like, hard stop, like in service of Jan. And so, yes, that's what it is, Scott. Make sense?
Okay. Yeah, kind of. Sure.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out. Yeah.
And so
I get to tell Bella what role she's playing.
Yes.
And it's a 6-minute conversation that we will cut in half and have opportunity for feedback, and then I'll come back online. So it will be cut in half.
Okay. So,
right.
So Bella, you are going to be the head of diversity and inclusion for Microsoft Corporation.
Ooh, okay.
Today. Okay.
Okay.
And I am trying to, am I stating my goals, what I'm trying to do, or I'm just going to go establish rapport right now? What? I am trying to get you to sign on to pilot my program.
Got it. Okay, let's take it in.
All right. So, hi, Bella. Thank you for meeting with me today.
Yes, Scott, thank you so much.
I understand you're from Houston, or
That is
in
correct.
Houston.
Yes, that is correct.
And are you from Houston as well?
I was born here, and technically I live in Austin, sort of ish, but I'm here right now.
Okay. Well, it's funny or interesting. We kind of built our initial program out of Houston. We came to Houston and we worked with the, are you familiar with the Lighthouse of Houston?
I am not, no.
It's down right downtown, and it's a foundation that works with the blind and visually impaired.
Oh, okay.
And it's kind of a boots on the ground type of organization. They employ the blind and visually impaired, and capacities. They do 3 million code of medical transcription. They run the call center for the VA hospitals. So they do a lot of good stuff, all while employing the blind and visually impaired.
Fantastic.
So we had the opportunity to come down to Houston And we came from all over the place, California, Europe, Mexico, and we built a physical program
Got it.
to have a blind experience where you would go into a room in total darkness and work as a group.
I've heard about these things. I've heard like about like blind, like dark dinners and stuff
Yes.
like that. I've heard of.
Exactly. So we built this wonderful program, physical program, where 24 people would come into a room and work together. And we finished our all of our work right around February 1st on 2020. And then COVID came along and body slammed us. Because who wants to gather in the dark room and bump around when there's a virus? So we took, instead of closing up, we turned lemon into lemonade, and we ported the program to virtual.
Very nice.
And so we have a virtual program, but we changed it as well. We improved upon it and made a whole different program, which includes a lot of disability awareness, along with the team building and stuff like that. But the main thing our program is based on is empathy. It is really, for an hour program, takes the participants and puts them in someone else's shoes. It does it in a fun and entertaining way, but very much in a skill improvement and learning way as well.
Well, Scott, I'm a little lost at the moment, but I've got to take a call right now. So if you give me a few minutes, I'll call you back in just a moment.
Okay. I look forward to your call.
Okay, thank you.
All right, excellent, Scott. Appreciate that round one. 3 more minutes in round two, but how did that feel for you, Scott, round one?
Felt okay. Yeah, I probably should have worked a little more establishing rapport rather than getting into my program if I were to do over. But other than that, that's probably where I was at. There's always a fine line between, establishing rapport and getting to the point in somebody's busy day.
Yeah, well, awesome. We're going to get that in round two. But Christy, are you ready to go?
I think I'm ready. For the first 3 minutes, I'm just building rapport. I'm not getting to yes. Is that correct?
Absolutely. Christy,
okay. Then yes, I am ready.
Who would you like Bella to be?
Okay. Bella, I would love for you to be Jenna Kutcher. Do you know who she is?
I do not.
She is an influencer. She has a podcast with millions and millions and millions of followers. And so whatever she says, her followers do and listen to. She's almost like a young modern day Oprah.
Okay.
So that sounds like Bella, sort of. Okay.
That sounds like fun.
Right. So you're Jenna, and we're there. And please, Christy, take us in.
Thank you very much. So Bella, I'm going to call you Jenna. Okay.
Okay.
I've literally called you.
Okay. Sounds good.
Ring, ring.
Hello, this is Jenna.
Hey, Jenna, this is Christy Naruzzi, and I am so thankful that Sean has introduced us and you agreed to speak with me for a few minutes. How are you this beautiful afternoon?
I am absolutely extraordinary. Thank you so much for calling. I've heard a lot about you.
Very good. So this is still a good time for us to talk for just a few minutes?
Yes, ma'am.
Outstanding. So the reason that we have been introduced and the reason that I wanted to call you is I have actually kind of stumbled upon a really, really big issue. And so I just wanted to share a little bit of my heart and where this has come from and how I've gotten here, and just share this with you and see if there's an opportunity for me to be able to potentially be on your podcast where we could hash this out together for your listeners. Is that okay that I share some information?
Yeah, definitely. I definitely get a lot of people that want to be on the podcast for sure.
For sure. Well, a little about me. I've been a mortgage loan officer for about 10 years. I was a short sale negotiator for several years. I have seen thousands of credit reports and lots of financial pictures. And could you imagine what the number one kind of issue that most people have that I might be looking at? Could you even take a guess of what the biggest struggle is for most American households?
Have enough money for a down payment?
Down payment is definitely it. And I'm seeing a lot of people that are truly struggling with credit. And unfortunately, it's one of those things that aren't really taught in school. Do you remember being taught about finance literacy, credit, those kinds of things in school?
Oh, absolutely not.
Yeah. So would you agree that if you experience some teaching, preparing you for what to do when you get outside of high school or even outside of college, you might have had a different kind of start into adulthood?
Most definitely.
Yeah, if anybody in your life, where do you feel like might be the biggest struggle when it comes to money? Have you had any experience with somebody saying like, this is sometimes it's not always about the earning of the money. What would you find might be a big issue for some people?
I don't know if I understand your question.
So when I talk to people who have a really big dream of wanting to buy a home, right? And they have this goal that they're really trying to capture, the lack of understanding about money tends to be the thing that stands in their way. And I just didn't know if you had any personal experience with anybody in your life that might have had an issue with money.
Okay. I'll have to think about that question. I think I might know what you're asking, but I've got a quick call that I need to take, and then I'll be right back.
Okay.
Excellent job. Christy, how'd that feel for you?
I feel like I failed miserably. I was trying to ask.
You are here. Nobody that is here is a failure.
Right.
You showed up.
I wanted you to talk more than me, so I was trying to ask questions to just see if I could get you to talk, but I didn't do a good job with the posing of my questions.
So there's 5 questions in emotional rapport building. Where have you been? Where are you? Where are you going? What's working? What are the challenges? And so as long as they're open-ended and they're congruent with people, there's a never-ending sequence of conversation. So we'll touch on that briefly. I'll do a role play later and demonstrate, but let's see what the judges have to say from round 1. So Bella, which way are we going with these amazing judges? Why don't you take us through?
Yeah, well, just so you know, Ray's battery had died, and so he was gone. He didn't get to hear either one of the contestants, and he's back now, so he might not have feedback that he's able to provide.
So we'll pick up Ray in round 2, but yeah, so please.
Yes. So we will go to Tracy first.
Okay. I mean, for the first 3 minutes, I thought both should I just critique both at the same time? I mean,
Take one at a time. So
I thought,
Scott, maybe.
yeah, I thought Scott did very well explaining his business. But he kind of was explaining the business a little bit and building the rapport at the same time. Christy, remind me, you're selling what?
I hadn't quite got there yet.
Yeah. But just so in the back of my mind, so I know what are you?
I wanted to have Jenna say yes to me being on her podcast with her.
Gotcha. Okay. I thought you were very enthusiastic on the initial meeting. Again, in only the first 3 minutes. Personally, I think you both did very well for the first 3 minutes.
Awesome. And then would you have a score, scale 1 to 10? And what we're assessing here, Tracy, is the level of like gravitational pull, like connection, resonance between each of these fine folks and Bella.
Well, Bella's just very bubbly and energetic herself. So I think she was interested and excited about both conversations. So, if I had to put a number on it, I'd say I think they both did equally well. And I'd go with an 8.
Nice. Okay, cool.
And then Sean, just so you know, we now have Gina Ricci in the house.
Yes. In the building.
Hello, everybody. I'm extraordinary. Thank you, Sean.
So
hello, Jan.
Yeah. So Gina, do you want to drop in for a second? Because I want to make sure we restore integrity and make sure everybody's good.
Yes, real quick. I just want to say, I thank you, Jen, for stepping up. I'm so glad you're here. If there was any misunderstanding about what we were doing here, please tell me, because I would like to make sure it's all cleared.
No, I didn't read the videos or watch the show, so I didn't really understand what it was. And you were just really enthusiastic about me trying it, so I did. But I'm woefully unprepared for this.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, I just want to make sure it wasn't like you're doing me a favor or anything. It was just that I wanted you to have this opportunity. So to be on here, to meet Sean, Bella, to meet these outstanding folks, and I'm just so glad that you were willing to step up and be here. So I want to make sure there was no confusion.
be prepared. So again, Jan, thank you for being here. I just feel bad if you feel uncomfortable. That's all. I don't want anybody ever feeling uncomfortable.
I'm not uncomfortable. I just, I don't think this is like the right, it's like someone else could probably benefit from this more than me right now. So,
Are you looking for more collaborative divorce work? Are you scaling? Like, what do you?
I've been growing my business pretty incredibly the last, I would say, especially like 7 or 8 years. And I don't, unless I wanted to like hire a lot of people or do something different, I don't know that I would even want it to grow that much more than it is right now. But I do really enjoy meeting new people, and I like connections. And I think it's fun that Tracy knows one of my best friends in the world. She's in Bergen County. One of my offices in Bergen County. I was raised there. So like, I like connecting with people and I like helping people, but I didn't really understand exactly what this was. So sorry.
No, all good. What part of Bergen County did you grow up in?
Wyckoff.
Oh, very cool. Ramapo or no?
Yes. Yep.
Right. The Ramapo, what are you, Raiders or no?
Yep.
Very nice. Well, welcome the Ramapo Raiders to the building. Chris Cavalli and Brian McCann, attorneys in Bergen County. They run our family law division at Caligula Law.
No.
Okay, yeah, they're certified matrimonial. They're top tier Bergen County guys. So when you do collaborative divorce, though, this is an alternative to hiring a law firm, correct or not correct?
So I'm more often doing mediation. So I'm working as a neutral facilitator, helping a couple who wants to get divorced get to their agreement. Very cool. I do work with a ton of attorneys because I send people to attorneys for review when the mediation is complete and they have their memorandum of understanding.
Yeah, so we have 4 attorneys in the family law department. So that could be a potential intersection. So if that's valuable, but you sound quite booked up and busy, but again, thank you for being here.
You're welcome.
Yeah. So, Jan, what, if any feedback do you have for these guys? And it's not like there's a science to it, just what'd you feel? How'd it go? A little, 25 seconds, 30 seconds of feedback for Scott, and then for Christy, and then a quick score on a scale of 1 to 10.
I mean, it's really admirable that everybody has such positive attitudes, so upbeat and, wanting to be good at what they're doing. So I admire that. And appreciate that because I feel like there's just so much negativity right now in the world. So it's really nice to run across people who are, upbeat and positive and trying to make things better for themselves or their families or whatever. And I think both Bella and Christy and Scott all embodied that. And I don't want to give them I'm a mediator. I don't want to give them I don't want to be like saying, who's good or not good, I think everybody does the best they can do.
All right, awesome. Well, thank you for that. Bella, are you ready for round 2?
I am ready for round 2.
Let's switch it up. And you want to start with the one and only Christy?
Yes.
All right. So please take us in.
So Jenna, thank you so much again for just a few more minutes with me. So what I'd love to share with you, and hopefully you can see that this would resonate with your listeners, is that there is actually a core story that we created when we were young in our very formative years when it comes to money. And so when I discovered that when I was 4, 5, 6 years old, I created a core story about money, and I've been living into this my entire life. And that's what's been keeping me stuck. And then to learn that a 4-year-old is running my financial show actually kind of ticked me off.
Okay.
So I feel like if given the opportunity for us to just hash it out, have a fun conversation through your podcast, perhaps that would resonate with some of your listeners as well, where we can remove some of those layers, uncover that core story when it comes to money, so we can create a new relationship with money moving forward, where we can now modify our behaviors, right? We tend to do a lot of the same kinds of actions over and over again because it may have gotten us this far in life.
Yeah.
But once you uncover that, you have this opportunity to create a new relationship. How does that make you feel when you hear about a core story that was created when we were young?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely, I've been in this space for a long time, so it's not a new concept to me. So it is interesting. We only have about a minute left here. So, maybe we can, what I'd be more interested in knowing is how long have you been listening to my podcast? What do you know about other guests that I've had on? And why do you believe that this would be of benefit to my audience? Because I've heard a lot about kind of, what you believe and what you believe about money and like the core stories. But I think what's really important about a podcaster is how is this going to serve my audience? That is really what is most important here.
Awesome. I appreciate you saying that. So I've been listening to you for about 5 years. Even went back further to your earlier episodes when you were literally recording in your master bedroom closet. I love your backstory.
That is awesome.
Listen to a
Thank
lot
you.
of listen to a lot of your guests, and I realize that you have people on your podcast that can have a positive impact in one's life. And so
Thank
that's
you.
really truly the goal, is just to have a positive impact where maybe somebody doesn't know that they are functioning the way they are because they watched their single mom at least get them through where there was not a more month than there was money. So that's the
Got
goal.
it. Well, let me tell you this, Chrissy, that the last minute of this conversation has been the most helpful out of the last few minutes. And because you came highly recommended by Sean, I'd be interested in having a bit of a longer conversation, but I've got to run now.
Thank you, Jenna.
Yeah.
Excellent job. How'd that feel, Christy?
A little bit better.
I think you did a lot better. And you think you did great in the first round as well. So
Yep.
All good. I mean, there's so much energy we put into how we communicate, how we influence. It's like, oh my God, like it's so funny. People will say, like, I'm on the hot seat. There's no hot seat. Like, is anybody hot? I'm not on the spot. There's no spot. It's just us revealing truth. And so you did a great job. There's such a distinction between being in our head and our body, like in our head versus in our body. And we all like live with this fear and concern of judgment and rejection of people. And it's like what causes all things not to happen. And when we're integrally like present and moving through, it's what causes all things to happen. So I think you did an outstanding job. And again, thank you for being here and your courage and vulnerability.
Yeah. I don't call it the hot seat. I call it the love seat. Because unless you like step into this, because this is really where you like love yourself, right? Because you get to grow and learn. And here in just a few minutes, like Sean and I dropped that kind of, couple things in, because here in just a minute, Sean is going to drop a magic trick that is really like what makes what everything that he just said about going from the head to heart, he's going to actually demonstrate how to do. And you have such a lovely personality. Like, you're so heartwarming. You're someone that I want to get to know. And so for you to, step into space and actually learn what it is that he's going to do, will like, Sean always says being at a 9 point, what did you say? Like 9.0 is like, and being a 9.9 is a difference of like $1.5 million in your pocket. And so, I would say you're already like at that 9, and to make those couple micro distinctions that you're going to see him illustrate here in just a moment is going to give you all the time, money, and magic in the world you want.
Yeah. Well, thank you both. So awesome job, Christy. And we got Scott, because there's like a 70% rate of unemployment for blind people.
Yep.
That's like a thing. And that's not acceptable. So Scott, you want to take us in?
Absolutely.
Please.
All right.
All right. Bella, thank you for turning my call again. When we were finishing up our last conversation, you perhaps had some questions about our program. So my first, let's make sure you understand what our program is. So tell me what I didn't tell you, or what I need to explain further.
Yeah, well, I'm really interested to find out, like, as you know, I run the inclusion and diversity here at Microsoft. And so I'm curious, like, how much you know about what we're doing already and where you see yourself fitting into what we're doing.
Absolutely. What a great question. So we've had the opportunity to run 6 or 8 of your sales teams through our program in Fargo, North Dakota, Detroit, Michigan, and most recently in San Francisco. And so they have kind of explained to us that in the sales department, that what their mission is with diversity and inclusion, and what they're struggling with, or trying to achieve, I should say, not struggling with, is to somehow get it into the everyday teamwork life of their of the sales teams. And what we did get, the feedback we received from them was that what they really enjoyed about our program was it was diversity inclusion without the hard race-centric message. When you do it through the disability channel, that it really kind of takes away the race-centric charge that's going on in society right now. So I think that is probably the premier component of our program. And just the fact that they put blindfolds on, they do teamwork tasks, they really, really have fun with it. So you know, it's learning in a fun way. So did I answer your question?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
So really what I wanted to accomplish today with you was I was hoping that I could get a team of minimum of 5 to 10 on your staff to take through a pilot program. With that pilot program, we can run them through a team building session. We can record it. They can review back to you, and you can join as well. We hope you'd want to, but if your time is limited, and that they could give you a full report. You know, seeing is believing, so to speak.
Got it.
No pun intended. So
Well, I'm definitely interested in learning more about your program. I've got to run right now, but let's schedule a bit of a longer call to make that happen.
okay, just 5 people. That's all I need in 50 minutes. Thank you.
Sounds great.
All right, awesome job, Scott. How'd that feel for you?
Well, I didn't close her, so I was born and raised a salesman, and we always run by the ABC. Always be closing.
Ooh, Sean Callaghy, how do you feel about that? Is the hair on the back of your neck standing up?
Yeah. So you know what, Bella?
Yes.
Here's what I'm hoping to do.
Okay.
When everybody leaves here, because it's just only me and you that can hear this, right?
Yeah. Everybody else is got their sound off.
Awesome. So I'm really glad. I think we hooked them, and we pitched them, and now I really can't wait to close. Like Scott and Christy, and especially Jan.
Especially Jan, because Jan definitely wants to be closed.
I'm gonna close Jan. And then we'll maybe close their friends. What do you think?
I think she would like that. I think that's exactly why she came here, was so that she could get closed.
Yeah. So the reason we say that, Scott, facetiously, is there's an energy to the idea of closing people. It's an objectification of human beings. And if you think about it from like a diverse, and I'm offering this as a possibility, right? Without judgment, that there's a possibility that the way we relate to selling, if we're trying to pitch, hook, close, funnel, get people, there's an energy to that we talk about, like a twig snap. Like a deer is eating and like being happy, a twig snaps, ears like this. And the zone of safety is lost because there's a predatory prey dynamic that is like wired into our amygdala, like that part of our survival brain. And when the twig snap occurs, the zone of safety is violated, it's like present. And if the vibrational energy is like pitch, hook, close, there's a subtle predatory dynamic that's at play in our nervous system. So we talk about is the building of emotional rapport, the putting something at stake, the conveyance authentically and integriously of our heroic, unique identity, and moving forward with an agreement, like replacing the word close with moving forward with an integrous agreement. Because Scott, I know this, Microsoft would be better for working with you. I am sure. And I am certain they don't need to be closed. They need truth to be revealed to them so an agreement can be formed. And now, by the way, that's like the story according to me. It doesn't mean it has to be the story according to you, but vibrationally, if I were to say to you, hey, you know what? I'm going to like close Scott's friend. And you heard me say, I'm going to close his friend versus, hey, you know what? I really think we connected and I think we can move forward with something. Which one feels better, Scott?
The latter, of course.
Yeah. So can I be you for a minute and we'll just play with something with Microsoft and then we'll take it to the judge and take it home?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay. So how about I'm Scott.
Okay.
Who would you like to be from Microsoft? Joe from Microsoft?
Joe's from Microsoft's great. I'll be Bill, I want to be Bill Gates from Microsoft.
You're Bill Gates. Okay. Ready?
This is gonna be so good.
Okay. So, Mr. Gates, it's an honor, and I'm grateful. I know you have 3 minutes, and I'm quite frankly, I shouldn't be, but I am shocked that I have this privilege of 3 minutes of your time. So thank you, Mr. Gates.
Welcome.
Yeah. So I am clear that you and Melinda are in a space where you're giving away your wealth in extraordinary ways. I am clear that that is your mission and passion, is to solve extraordinary problems in the world. And it is remarkable that somebody would not only achieve what you've achieved, but be that intentional about how you give it away and look to solve big problems. So again, thank you for who you are in the world.
Thank you.
Yeah. So in Mr. Gates, if I may, I know we're down to 2 minutes to go. In looking at big problems, how do you define big problems? Because you can't do everything, you can't be everywhere, and even with your incredible resources, they are still finite. So when you define big problems that you're up to solving in the world, how do you identify them? Like, what's the criteria, please?
Well, that's a good question. What we do is we have a blue ribbon committee that we first start with, and everybody gets to bring one to the table. And we then have a planning session, and we come out and we prioritize those in order by virtue of that planning session. And then we try to work on the top 3 as we all agree to.
Awesome. Well, Mr. Gates, thank you for that. And what moves your heart, yours, when you think of big problems? And I'm clear that you've been involved in clean water. I'm clear that you've been involved in vaccination. So health clearly is extraordinarily important for you. What else, if I may ask, is a criteria, if any, that would be something you're open to?
Impact. If we can make an impact somewhere, that's what we like to gravitate to.
So then, Mr. Gates, in the final minute we have here, may I share a little bit about me and what we're up to?
Great.
So if impact is what you seek, impact is what we are here to deliver. The rate of unemployment for blind people in America has been at 70%, 70% for 7 decades. And that exists despite the fact there have been legal changes that are extraordinary and technological innovations that are mind-boggling. So clearly, there's only one of 2 causes. One, employers have not changed how they relate to blind people, and/or 2, blind people have not shifted how they relate to one another. I stand for the reality that it's both. And so my request is, and this is different than inoculations and clean water, I don't need millions of dollars. My request is either one of 2 things. One, to be at with this panel within Microsoft that you create and your charitable foundation, the Gates Foundation, and/or 2, within Microsoft, we just need 5 people for 1 hour of their time. And if this is not the most impactful program to create access to diversity and inclusion Microsoft has ever seen, then please don't work with me. But 1 session, I'll bet it all on the line, 5 people, we do things that create an entirely different paradigm for diversity and inclusion based upon a disability access versus other more, we'll call them hot and potentially, unfortunately, in the current climate, divisive. Not that the subject is divisive, but people's political rhetoric around it becomes such. So we created incredible access. So, Mr. Gates, thank you. I've gone slightly over my time. How does that resonate or not for you?
You know what? I will put it to my team.
Well, thank you, sir. Okay, so at a roll, Scott, how did that feel for you?
Oh, it's great. I love your approach.
All right.
And
well,
I've learned from it.
Awesome. Well, it is recorded, and that's my gift to you for today.
Okay, and I'll use it. I'm not afraid.
And I am on the board of the American Foundation for the Blind, and you
I
know,
know you.
yeah, I know you
That's
know.
how I got connected with you.
So thank you, my friend. Appreciate
No.
it. Thank you.
Oh, God, and I'm having a bunch of fun,
Yeah.
just so
Well,
you know.
well, thank you.
I do want to tell the other panelists that
Yeah.
I've been working now for a year and a half with the blind and visually impaired, and I have a lot of fun. I mean, we have a lot of fun besides doing good stuff, so.
No, I am, and I have a lot of fellas. I'm blind, and this is Sean Callaghan. Have a lot of fun.
So.
Yes, absolutely.
John
muted,
Calgee is
Beth.
the only person I know that like goes skiing on double black diamonds and like surfing and like teaches people how to surf and ski, all being blind. So he has a slight bit of fun.
Yes.
Ploma in our group, she's totally blind and she rides a bike.
That's extraordinary.
That's
So-
awesome.
So let's get to these fine judges and let's take this sucker home. So Bella, who you want to like?
Let's
take us-
start with Ray this time, since he didn't get to go the first time. 30 seconds of feedback for Scott, and then 30 seconds of feedback for Christy. One thing that they did great, and something they can improve on, and a score.
Oh boy, this is tough. For Scott, one thing that he did was great was that he asked what the individual needed. I think it was you he was talking to. What kind of clarity he needed from, or what you needed from him to move forward. So it was kind of like figuring out what he needed to do to close. That I thought was very good.
Got it.
I don't think of anything. I can't think of anything he needed to improve.
Got it. Okay, and a score?
I'm very bad at this. I would give an 8.
Oh, excellent. And you're definitely not bad at it. So all good. And what you have for Christy, please. Right.
Boy, not it's I'm having trouble remembering back. Christy was very.
I'm
go
sorry.
ahead. No, go ahead.
Yeah, no, Christy was influencing the influencer to have Christy on her podcast.
Okay. When she was talking about watching the show for a long period of time, she was educated about the show, which I felt was important in selling to the podcast person. That's about as much as I got on that one.
Cool.
And your score?
I would say 8 also.
8. Awesome. Got it. And then we'll go to Tracy, and then Sean. Jen had to leave, and so I don't know. Gina's still here. I don't know if you want Gina to fill in or.
We'll grab some feedback real quick. That's
Okay.
all.
All right, Tracy.
So, I mean, basically, both of I'm thinking real estate. Both conversations were looking for an appointment or like some sort of commitment. So, really the only thing I would have added if that were me would have been because I know both meetings were rushed and you only had 3 minutes. And I don't know if this is wrong or not, but I would have just said, okay, so when do you think I could come meet with you? I know you're rushed for time, and rather than push off for another phone call, I might have just went in for the appointment right away and just been like, what time could we meet and when could we sit down? That's really the only thing I would have, Christy, I would have said, when can we sign up? When can we sign up? I would have been maybe a little bit more pushy. I don't know. You were very excited to speak with Jenna, and that she definitely felt and knew. But again, for both Scott and Christy, I would have just went in for the kill right at the end. That's my thing.
Awesome. Thank you, Tracy.
Right.
And so, Tracy, how was your day here today?
It was fun, exciting. I always love to meet new people, and again, I also got here like, what am I doing here? But I never turn down. I try never to turn down an opportunity because if it doesn't directly relate to me, you never know what it could lead to, regardless of anything. And an ex-boss told me that a long time ago. So although I was scared and nervous and was like, what am I doing here? I didn't turn it down because committed to it, number one, and I wanted to see what I could learn from it.
Yes.
Beautiful.
So thank you. Great job. Scott, how was your day here today? Thank you so much for being here.
Oh, it's great. It never hurts to come up, meet new people and put a little polish on your pitch and everything else that you are trying to accomplish.
Well, thank you for being here, man. And Christy, outstanding job. Your heart-centeredness was present. How was today for you?
I learned so much from you when you were role playing with Scott. So that was absolutely extraordinary. This whole experience has been amazing. I've really enjoyed it, but I learned so much and took lots of notes.
Thank you for being here. And again,
Radiate.
it's like a weird day. Like this is like never been seen before. So all good. And so thank you guys very much for being here. And Bella Rita, final. Thank you. Awesome job.
Thank you. Thank you. I would say final, because Christy, I mean, and everybody, but you have like an extraordinary energy, and you have an incredible gravitational pull. And so in watching what Sean does, like there is a formula. It's not like something, I mean, he's perfected it over, 25 years, 23 years, but there's a formula. And so there is a place that you can learn this formula. And this happens on Monday nights. And so I invite everyone to join. That is tonight. So I invite you to join us tonight. Like, what is Unblinded? What is the Real Raw? Where, Sean works with a few people and actually breaks down this formula and how it can impact their business. So I definitely invite everyone to come back and join us tonight. It is slightly fun. So if you don't like to have fun, I would probably not come. And Christy, you definitely don't look like someone who likes to have fun. So you might want to skip it, but
Yeah.
I'll push through and see in a few hours.
okay.
Thank you. And by the way, also we're on Clubhouse every morning from 9 to 9:30, where we are creating ecosystem merger hotbed, which is how some of our dear friends have scaled massively the amount of their sales meetings. As we have it Unblinded, we have more than 200 sales meetings a month with incredible people with no paid advertising whatsoever, no funnels, nothing, just human to human relationship dynamics accelerating. And that number is rocketing forward during COVID. So that's what's present. That's what is at play. And again, thank you so much for your courage and vulnerability. Tracy, Christy, Scott, Ray, thank you guys. And of course, Bella Rita, fantastic job. We thank Jan for her time today as well. Vivian Guzman, on behalf of everybody here at Unblinded, love you guys. Thank you. And if this, and remember, influence is a superpower, but hopefully it's just the beginning of the journey. If you do want more money and or time and or magic. Bella Rita, thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Hey, Sean, and we're all blind?
And just learn and see.
Oh, I got the other rule. Bye, guys.
Bye.